position you fall asleep in tonight is not random. It is a pattern your body has been running for years, and researchers have found it carries measurable consequences for your brain, your heart, your spine, and even your risk of disease. What position do you sleep in? Most people never think about how they sleep, they just sleep. But your body is not passive during those 8 hours. It is doing critical maintenance, flushing waste from your brain, regulating your heart rate, repairing tissue. And the position you are in changes how well every one of those processes works. Each sleep position has real biological advantages and real costs. Here's what science has found for each one. Back sleeping, supine. Back sleeping is the position most spinal surgeons and orthopedic specialists recommend, and the reason is simple. It places the spine in its most neutral alignment, distributing body weight evenly without forcing any curve to compensate. This reduces chronic lower back and neck pain in people who switch to it long term. There is also a neurological advantage. Research from Stony Brook University found that the glymphatic system, the brain's waste clearance network, operates more efficiently when you sleep on your back or side than in any other position. This system flushes out metabolic waste, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease, and it only runs at full capacity during sleep. The significant trade-off is gravity. In the supine position, the tongue and soft tissues of the throat fall backward, narrowing the airway, which is why back sleeping dramatically worsens snoring and is considered the highest risk position for obstructive sleep apnea. People with untreated sleep apnea who default to their back are interrupting their own oxygen supply hundreds of times per night without knowing it. Side sleeping. Right side sleeping is the most common position on Earth, and sleeping on the right side specifically has a complex physiological profile. The heart sits slightly left of center in the chest, and sleeping on the right allows it to operate without the weight of surrounding organs pressing against it, making right side sleeping broadly comfortable for most people. However, for those with acid reflux or GERD, the right side is measurably worse. The lower esophageal sphincter, the valve that prevents stomach acid from rising, sits on the left side of the body. When you lie on your right, gravity pulls that valve open slightly, allowing acid to migrate upward. Studies consistently show that GERD patients sleeping on their right report significantly more nighttime reflux events than those sleeping on their left. For the approximately 20% of the population managing chronic acid reflux, this is not a minor detail. It directly disrupts sleep architecture and accelerates esophageal tissue damage over time. Side sleeping, left side. Left side sleeping carries a distinct set of biological advantages that researchers have linked to cardiovascular function, digestion, and lymphatic drainage. The aorta, the body's largest artery carrying oxygenated blood from the heart, curves to the left. Sleeping on the left side allows the heart to pump downward with gravity's assistance rather than against it, reducing cardiac workload during sleep. Pregnant women are almost universally advised to sleep on their left side in the third trimester for exactly this reason. It maximizes blood flow to the placenta by relieving pressure on the inferior vena cava, the major vein running on the right side of the spine. Left side sleeping also positions the stomach and pancreas optimally for digestion, allowing gastric emptying to follow gravity naturally. Lymph fluid, which carries immune cells and filters waste, drains predominantly through the thoracic duct on the left side of the body, and left side sleeping may facilitate that drainage more effectively. The trade-off is localized. Long-term left side sleepers often report increased shoulder compression and arm numbness from sustained pressure on that side. Stomach sleeping, prone. Stomach sleeping is the position that carries the most documented physiological costs, and researchers are consistent on this point. To breathe while lying face down, you must rotate your head to one side, typically for 6 to 8 hours straight. This forces the cervical spine into sustained rotation under load, compressing the facet joints on one side and chronically stretching muscles and ligaments on the other. People who stomach sleep long-term show higher rates of chronic neck pain, cervical disc compression, and morning stiffness than any other sleep position group. The lumbar spine also loses its natural curve in the prone position, increasing pressure on the intervertebral discs. Beyond the spine, the full body weight presses against the chest during prone sleep, slightly restricting the rib cage and making each breath marginally shallower. There is one exception where prone positioning has clinical value. Patients with acute respiratory distress syndrome in critical care settings are sometimes placed face down to redistribute lung fluid and improve oxygen exchange. But for healthy sleepers, the structural costs of stomach sleeping accumulate quietly over years. Fetal position? The fetal position, curled on your side with knees drawn toward the chest, is the single most common sleep posture globally, adopted by an estimated 41% of sleepers. It echoes the body's earliest physical memory, and there is evidence it activates a mild parasympathetic response, the nervous system state associated with rest and safety, that can make sleep onset faster. For people with lower back pain, a moderate fetal curl takes pressure off the lumbar discs by slightly opening the posterior facet joints. However, extreme fetal curling, knees pulled tightly to the chest, spine severely flexed, compresses the intervertebral discs differently and can worsen sciatic nerve pain over time. The position also restricts diaphragmatic breathing by reducing the space the diaphragm has to descend. Sleep researchers note that the fetal position tends to correlate with higher baseline anxiety in survey data. Though whether the position causes the anxiety or anxious individuals gravitate toward enclosed postures is a question the research has not cleanly resolved. Changing positions. During sleep, most people do not hold a single position through the night. The average adult shifts position between 20 and 40 times during sleep, and this is not a disruption, it is biology functioning correctly. Sustained pressure on any tissue reduces local circulation, and repositioning is the body's mechanism for redistributing blood flow and preventing pressure injuries. What researchers have found is that your dominant position, the one you are in when you fall asleep and the one you return to most often, is the one that carries the most physiological weight. That starting position sets the tone for your lightest, most responsive sleep stages, which is when most positional effects on breathing, drainage, and spinal load are most pronounced. Your sleep position is not just a comfort habit. It is a nightly intervention your body runs on your heart, your spine, your brain, and your immune system for a third of your entire life. The position you default to tonight has been shaping your health in ways you cannot feel until years later. Now you know what it is actually doing. What position do you sleep in? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.